It has been closed. We only had one applicant.
Wait a minute.
We had one.
Not May.
Of April, I'm sorry. Of April, we had one applicant who we initially were going to be recommending for the position, but she has changed her mind to not take it.
Which one? Tuesday to Saturday?
Yes.
There was one applicant who
An
changed
internal
her mind.
candidate, yes, from here, from the press section.
But then it's
So is it's open again then? It needs to be reposted? Is that what you're saying?
Probably.
Okay, so that's the AM, the week, the Monday,
Tuesday through Saturday.
Tuesday through Saturday position, which I'm not seeing right now, so it needs to be posted. Okay.
Well, since there is some concern, what you can do is bring it through Personnel Committee at the June meeting. If the board wants to open that position, you can talk to the union for that weekend one, since it's not on the agenda. So we'll spend some time working with the union on what the impact of that would be, if there's some interest with that. We'll bring it through Personnel Committee, we'll post it, and then we'll interview from there.
Is that the maintenance position also?
The maintenance position's on, so if the board chooses to vote that down,
It's on, it's posted?
it's posted and recommended. So that one's up for a vote today. So the board can vote it down. If the board votes it in, then your recourse would be agreements.
So it was posted on the website for the maintenance position. And you had applicants that you interviewed for that position.
I did not.
We have one applicant.
So what was that posted?
April 18th.
So can I just be clear on a question from Ms. Celeste? We are posting positions for a pilot program. So people are applying for a job for a pilot program that may or may not go through. We're going to run it for an indefinite period of time to get some results. What happens to the positions then when we make a decision about the pilot program, if it's not going to become permanent?
Well, currently, there's only one position that is a change of position recommended, and that's the one this evening.
Right.
We anticipate that that position will stay as a general maintenance position. Dr. Penn will address that at the end.
Right.
We wouldn't be taking that position away from that person if approved.
And you had these discussions with the best leadership prior to this, and everyone seemed to be on the same page, was that?
Yes.
That was what I
I've
understood.
had multiple meetings with my godmother, Lynette DeJuski. We've had conversations with the UNICEF director who oversees the unions in the area. They don't believe we're violating the contract. They believe we're following the contract. I believe we're following the contract. I believe we're doing what's right and providing opportunity to people. I don't believe we're forcing anybody to change a job. We haven't ever in any way, shape, or form eliminated any positions or jobs. And everybody at Oak Forest High School who's been part of this transition is talking nothing but positive spins on it. I think the biggest issue I'll just leave it at that.
And so you're here this evening because you're saying you were not informed by your
Correct.
leadership about any of this pilot program
It
or
needs to
any.
add
Well,
positions.
we were informed about the Al Reed being promoted to the maintenance position. We were informed about that, which we told him that we felt it should be posted because that is what the contract says. And I'm not sure he felt the same way.
It was posted.
This is
posted.
prior to that, when we
I
had
can't,
our meeting.
I can't hold everyone's hand down.
That's correct, but when we had our meeting with you, we told you that we wanted.
And it was
the
posted?
contract. It wasn't posted the first time, it wasn't posted until after that.
Can we workshop it? It was posted.
And nobody ever seen the posting.
You're the president of this, right?
I am.
So you spoke on this, right? And he posted it and everything.
He posted
We're
it.
supposed to move forward on it once we
Well,
follow.
when you guys voted it down, it was posted. I believe for, I think, 7 or 8 days.
But you got some disgruntled constituent.
Well, I can't, it's not my duty to say this job's posted or it's open. If they're looking for a vacancy, they go on the district website, just like I did when I applied, or like everyone else applied for the job here. It's all on the district website. It's not my job to say, hey, this job's open, this job isn't open. My job is to make sure they're getting a fair wage and their benefits and what they're owed.
Excuse me, we're here because of statements that were made at your last board meeting about he was okay with violating our contract to push that position through. That's the reason we were here.
It's not a violation because it's not a new position. It's not.
It's added, it says it's added right here.
It's not a new hire.
It's added right here.
It's not a new hire.
Yeah.
It says it
He's
right
a change
here.
of position.
It says it in Dr. Guyton's letter right here that it was the added position.
Again, I think there's some issues with the union that you guys would need to work out outside of our meeting. I think we need to get back to our agenda. I understand your concerns. Again, we'll be happy to talk with and meet with anyone who wants to talk about it, in addition to our union, to the union leadership we work with. Okay, thank you.
Superintendent's report.
Since the last regular board meeting, we received the following Freedom of Information Act request. Ms. Rebecca Feigl requested an application and a resume for Rebecca L. Feigl submitted sometime within the last 2 years. This request has been completed. Mr. David Giuliani, a Daily Journal reporter, requested documents related to the 2014 dismissal of a staff member, including any separation or other agreements, notices of dismissal, and documents showing the factual basis and reasons behind the dismissal. This request has been completed. This is the third year that the state of Illinois and Bremen High School District 228 have offered the Illinois State Seal of Biliteracy and the Commendation of Biliteracy to our students. This year we've had 85 students have earned the Seal of Biliteracy or Commendation, with 11 students earning in 2 languages, more than triple the number from last year. In addition, 86 students have been inducted into the French and Spanish Honor Society. These awards will be reflected on the students' high school transcripts and diplomas. They are evidence of the skills that are attractive to college admission offices and future employers, so we congratulate those students. We are in the final weeks of the 2017-2018 school year. Next week, we will recognize 1,400 graduates from the class of 2018 with our commencement ceremonies. On behalf of the entire school community, we wish them all the best. Thank you.
Okay, board members?
Just to go back on our conversation here. First and foremost, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for coming out and being here, and I wish more groups and people would come out and take part in our board meetings. This is for everybody, this is for all the workers, this is for the community. So thank you. I certainly myself do not have a problem with the letter. I think it is well written. But what I'd like to say is, this is an exciting time for our district. If anybody watched the committee of the whole meeting, we discussed these 4 new buildings that we're going to be constructing here over the next few months. 228's never had anything like this before, okay? So my opinion to the situation, it's growing pains, okay? Yes, we have to make sure that our buildings are staffed appropriate enough to make sure that they're clean, make sure that they're safe, make sure everything that you guys do, we need to make sure that that happens in our new buildings, okay? So in my opinion, this is growing pains. And when there's retribution brought up, that concerns me, kind of hurts me a little bit. I know I've worked with these administrators. Obviously, I don't work with them on a day-to-day basis. Most of you do. But I got to say that these administrators are not out to chop your heads off, okay? That's what I know, okay? Again, I don't work in your shoes on a day-to-day basis. But we have the growing pains, and they're good growing pains. This is a good thing, you know? If we end up with the pilot program saying, hey, we need more jobs, that's good for your union. That's good, right? We'll bring people in to make sure that these places are safe and clean. If the pilot says, no, you know, we can do with what we have, you know, then we'll work it out like that way. So I, as one board member, have complete confidence in the administration to work with you guys and to make you happy and get the job done for our district. Okay, this is a very exciting time. I'm a graduate of this district. I'm so proud of what you guys do. These buildings don't run unless our support staff are doing their job, okay? I know that, okay? I went here and I see, and I've worked in situations where I've seen support staff, and that's no disrespect to our teachers or our administration. This doesn't work without you guys, okay? So I'm sure our superintendent is not going to want to disappoint you, okay? There's going to be glitches, okay? It's a growing pain situation, okay? And common sense for us 7 board members, we're going to use that in these situations. Yes, contracts should not be violated, okay? And I personally, I'm speaking for myself, not the other board members, I don't think there's intention on that, okay? It goes back to the growing pain, figuring this out. 4 brand new buildings, think about it, what's the total square foot there? That's a lot of square footage, okay? So there's gonna be glitches. And all I would ask as a board member, give the administration some time to work it out. I don't think they're here to spite any of you. And that's just my opinion, okay? They need some time. This is all new to us. Okay, this is the biggest thing in 228 in its history of what we're going through. So, thanks for coming out. Always come out. Always talk to your the chain of command. They're not going to bite your heads off. Okay, so thank you for what you do, because I totally believe this district doesn't run itself.
I was attended the Tinley Park Seniors Honors Night. Once again, it was flawlessly beautiful, well organized. As always, tip my hat to the Tinley Park administration and team.
I attended the Hillcrest Honors Night where the graduates were recognized. Many awards were given out. Again, as Mark said, it was well organized, well attended. Mrs. Ressler and I also attended the Cinco de Mayo celebration at Bremen. Congratulations to Dr. Cabelkas and his staff and his students. The gym was packed with families. There was food, there were mariachi bands, there were dancers. It was an exciting evening, and it took a lot to put that together. It was very well done.
I was able to attend the professional learning for school leaders focused on equity, work, and education. And this is a little bit, but I'm just going to kind of go by our newsletter. We had professional learning for school leaders, which focused on equity, work, and education, which I thought was absolutely outstanding. School board members and superintendents from all around the state of Illinois came together, and they were offered exclusively to the school board members and superintendents for IESB. This was a free event, which was one of the first of hopefully many that will be coming up. More than 200 participants from all over the state of Illinois from over 80 districts registered for the April 28th event that happened in Niles at the Hyatt Regency Hotel. The professional element continues as a learning is absolutely paramount to the mission of IESB, and it is very important that this was quite a wonderful event where this event provided board members with a better understanding of what equity looks like in their district and board's responsibility to ensure equitable outcomes for children in the communities that they serve, that we serve. There were 3 phenomenal, when I say phenomenal speakers, I just wish everyone could hear them because they were absolutely outstanding. I was literally on the edge of my seat the whole time because it was just outstanding. Heather Hackman is an expert in social justice. She spoke on social justice issues and provided participants with a wealth of knowledge and conceptual framework of equity and challenged them to view their work through an equity lens. Several districts are doing this work and leading the way to establish equity lens in the community, in their districts as well as in the community. In one panel presentation, 3 Illinois school districts talked about their equity journeys, including deliberate steps at the board level and policy implications. Panelists included Superintendent Teresa Rouse and Board President Jeffrey Ritz from Joliet School District 86. Superintendent Ed Condon and Board President Ralph Martier from River Forest School District 90, and Superintendent Carmen Ayala, and Board President Adam Mount from Berwyn North School District 98 presented. In another panel, Board Presidents shared stories of leadership and equity issues and the impact that equity work has had on their school systems. Consultant Corey Wallace presented with 2 board presidents, Suni Kartha from Evanston and Skokie School District 65, and Pat Savage William from Evanston School District 202. In their presentation, they said how this impacted their school and how it really turned their school around. Steve Pemberton, which is an outstanding speaker, he spoke on the national level. That's the first time I had heard about him on the national level at the national conference last year in 2017. He was the author of A Chance in the World, and he closed the day with his personal journey of perseverance and resilience, inspiring participants to be remembered for standing in the gap. And so his history was he was a child of the foster system, and his placement. Also, there is a film that's coming up with the same title as his book, A Chance in the World, and I have this for the board members to look at as well. The instructional materials were free. Everything was free. It was open to all of, as I stated before, all the superintendents. So the district did not have to pay a dime for any of for this conference or the publications that were given out. It was an outstanding event. And in regards to, I don't know if I want to wait for when we vote on this, but I want to just state that I'm all for promotions. At the meeting, my concern was about compliance and making sure that we were in compliance as far as the best agreement. While, of course, I got from, after viewing the tape, many of the constituents said that, and some of the workers stated to me that, of course, this is doing really well. They like the program. They like the way that that they're maintaining the school. They got rave reviews. While he got rave reviews, that was my basic concern, was making sure we stay in compliance because of the contract. So so they said he was doing a good job, outstanding job, and you all, whoever, were doing an outstanding job with that. And it is Staff Appreciation Week, so I want to thank you for the hard work that you all are doing, whether you're a teacher, administrator, custodian, whatever your function in the school district is. I want to give kudos to you. Thank you for enduring and your day-to-day work and coming to work and giving your all. And I'm going to take the title that Bremen says, being great for the district. This one. Lori, well, you know what I think of you. I try to tell you all the time how much I appreciate you in this district. I am serious. I'm just going to miss you so much. I don't know what, you're not just a board secretary, you're not just a superintendent secretary. You have surpassed, expectations and job descriptions, and you are an example of of greatness in this community, and I'm just, you know, what it is to be a student in the district and then go to school and then come back and support your district and help all the students and faculty out. And it's just, I could go on and write a whole dissertation on it. I just really appreciate you.
Thank you.
And all the work you've done. And I don't want to cry. I'm not going to try to cry because you just mean that to us. So I'm going to miss you.
Thank you.
I've already let you know what I really think about you. So thank you. I just want to thank you. I want to say this outstanding work. I like the Cinco. I didn't get to go, but I appreciate that they had the Cinco de Mayo there. I want to say in regards to the upcoming graduation, thank you to all parents that I know that work with us and work with the school district, and we're trying to ensure that our students have whatever success means to you. And I just want to thank the parents that work and the staff that work with the students to achieve their greatness and their success in the school district. And that's all I have to say.
I also attended the Hillcrest Honors Night, and as always, those events are always awesome. It was exciting to be able to participate with the kids at one part of it. All the kids line up and say where they're going and what they're going to major in, and you just feel their excitement and joy of the next step of their life. I also attended the equity event, and this is a means to help our low-income and minority students who have been less successful succeed. One important thing to note is every person that I talked to during the event, at lunch, and also a couple of presenters I believe said it's important to bring a professional in to evaluate your district to where you are and get help to implement anything programs like this. That's all I have. We'll move on to new business.
Item 9.1 pertains to the bills, addendum to bills, payroll, and CDS bills. These items have been reviewed and are recommended to the board for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Houston, second by Mr. Johnson. Any discussion? No discussion.
Mrs. Gleason, aye. Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Canning.
Aye.
Mrs. Jones.
Aye.
Mrs. Camworth. Aye. Mrs. Jones.
Aye.
Item 9.2 pertains to the transfer of $5 million from the Operations and Maintenance Fund to the Educational Fund following the completion of our public hearing. We are recommending this resolution to the full board for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Mr. Johnson, second by Mrs. Jones. Any discussion?
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mrs. Jones.
Aye.
Mr. Canning.
Aye.
Mrs. Gleason, aye. Mrs. Camworth.
Aye.
Mrs. Stern.
Aye.
Item 9.3 pertains to the summer 2018 driver's education cars. World Hyundai in Matson, World Kia in Joliet generously offered to supply 10 vehicles each for the duration of this year's summer driver education program. The cost per car is $1,348, which includes the installation and removal of the emergency brake pedal. We are now recommending this to the full board for approval.
Second.
Moved by Stone, second by Johnson.
I just would like to know, Brittany, we used last year, what was
Homewood Chevy.
Did we get a better rate by going to Hyundai?
Actually, Homewood Chevy kind of told us at the last minute that they weren't interested in pursuing our relationship any longer. I think it just wasn't really worth it fiscally for them, so they just didn't.
We actually get a good deal from them.
Yeah, we did, but they decided not to pursue.
I think it's important to note that Bridget did a wonderful job finding these cars. We were pretty stressed out.
Oh, last minute, huh?
We need to advertise those companies.
I think she performed
Our district, people can go there.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Mrs. Stern.
Aye.
Mr. Johnson.
Aye.
Mr. Canning.
Aye.
Mrs. Gleason, aye. Mrs. Jones.
Aye.
Mrs. Camworth.
Aye.
Item 9.4 pertains to technology upgrades in the school district. Dr. Kendall's reviewed the items under technology upgrades, specifically upgrades for desktop computers, security cameras, classroom projectors, and staff iPads, and is now being recommended to the full board.
So moved.
Second. Please understand. How much of this is from your audit?
We are, actually, none of this is specifically from the audit that we did. Some of the things we're doing with the audit is pertaining to upgrading our bandwidth, some of the processes we do with onboarding staff members, and also where we, disaster recovery should the ad center get blown over by a tornado, preparing for that. So we're not just, what do we do next in this situation?
So did you say that we are upgrading the bandwidth
Yes.
to support these systems?
Yes.
Okay, that's my question.
Mrs. Gleason, aye. Mrs. Stearns?
Aye.
Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Camworth?
Aye.
Dr. Evans?
Item 9.5 is a recommended handbook change to the section on tardiness. To this include a prescribed sequence of consequences. Dr. Kendall has reviewed the recommended handbook change and it is now being recommended to the full board.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Gleason, second by Mr. Canning. Any discussion?
Mrs. Gleason, aye. Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Camworth?
Aye.
Mrs. Stearns?
Aye. Dr. Kendall?
Item 9.6 is a resolution honoring community support. Lisa, the resolution.
I move the resolution honoring community support, whereas education is one of the most important components to the economic, democratic, and social strengths of this nation, this state, and these communities. And whereas we as a school community have a responsibility to our children to provide them with the educational programs and services that are necessary to academic success in our schools. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of Bremen High School District 228 commends the involvement of its volunteers and supporters for helping our students achieve academic excellence, adopted this 8th day of May, 2018. So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Gleason, I'm sorry, second by Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Mrs. Gleason, aye. Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Camworth?
Aye.
Mrs. Stearns?
Aye.
Item 9.7 is a resolution honoring a jack of all trades, Ms. DeVos. She's been my secretary, the board secretary, the public relations person, someone I worked closely with for the last 11 years. I want to thank her for all her service, idea and the stuff that we've been through together. So congratulations and best of luck in your future. Ms. Gleason, you want to do the big one? Want to do the big one? Do the one behind here?
Sure.
Lori, you want to come up?
I don't know. Resolution recognizing the distinguished service of Lori DeVos Borelli. Whereas the retirement of Lori DeVos Borelli, Administrative Assistant to the Superintendent and Community Relations Coordinator for Bremen Community High School District 228, has been duly and regretfully accepted. And whereas Ms. DeVos Borelli has devoted a career of over 34 years to the youth of the state of Illinois, and whereas her leadership and service to District 228 has been exemplary and completed with distinction, and whereas recognition of her contributions to this district is fully recognized, now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of Bremen Community High School District 228 record this sincere expression of gratitude and appreciation to Mrs. Lori DeVos Borelli on behalf of the students, faculty, administration, and the citizens of this district. And be it further resolved that this Board of Education extends to Mrs. Lori DeVos Borelli its best wishes for a well-earned retirement. Adopted this 8th day of May, 2018. Oh, crap. I'd also like to present Lori with a gift from the Board of Education. And just as a point of reference, Lori and I came to the Ed Center the same year, As newbies, it's been 24 years that you've been in the Ad Center?
26 years.
26 years.
I came a year before you
Oh, you
started.
came a year before.
We estimate this to be her 499 board meeting.
Okay, so she'll be back in June now.
Longer than a superintendent.
Yes. And probably any staff member either.
We have some other gifts there,
And other gifts.
Another gift.
you know, gifts from it.
Yeah, I think everybody's,
They're sick of you.
yeah.
Thank you, everybody.
You know, I appreciate it, and you know that I love my job. And it's just, it's time to be a retired person, but I think it's pretty good after all these years to say I still love my job. And it's because of you and the kids. Thank you.
Okay. Welcome to retirement.
Oh, thank you.
Second.
Mrs. Gleason, aye. Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Camworth?
Aye.
Mrs. Stern?
Dr. Ryan.
Item 9.8 pertains to personnel. Under retirement, Christina Cable, Christopher Hennessy, and Judy Whalen. Under resignation, Santa Anwar, Tim Schneiderwin, and Christina Washington. Under leaves, Jennifer Tardy and Francisca Perez. Under employment, Edgar Gonzalez and Jamie Bonima. Under change of position, Kelly Nadiak, Alan Reed, and Ryan Leonard. Dr. Kendall has reviewed the many certificated and support staff items, and these are now being recommended to the full board for approval.
So moved.
Second.
Moved by Ms. Gleason, second by
Mr. Chair.
Any discussion?
The one in question is 9.852, is that correct?
That's me.
In light of it, shall we vote on it separate? Otherwise, we're just gonna do a blanket. Okay, that's cool.
Mrs. Gleason, aye. Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
I, with the exception, I didn't make, we didn't make a motion for the position that was,
So we can't do that.
we
So
can't do that,
nay or
right?
nay
I'm
or
just saying my comment there. So right now, I'm going to do to abstain.
Mrs. Camworth? Aye. Mrs. Stern?
No. Dr. Goggins.
Kiva Fiore is a one-on-one ELL and bilingual program aide for students who will no longer be in the district after this school year. Ms. Fiore is the least senior person in the ELL and bilingual program aide category. Thus, leadership understands the need for a reduction in force in this category. Therefore, we are recommending to the full board for consideration.
Okay, I move for the honorable dismissal of Latiba Ferrari, ELL, and bilingual program aide.
Second.
Moved by Mr. King, second by Ms. Gleason. There's a chance she might be retired right now.
She has recall rights.
Mr. Canning?
Aye.
Mrs. Gleason, aye. Mr. Johnson?
Aye.
Mrs. Jones?
Aye.
Mrs. Camworth? Mrs. Stern?
Aye. Our announcements are as follows. Personnel will meet Monday, June 11th, 6:30 at the Ad Center. Qualified Finance at 7. Teaching and Learning will meet June 12th, 6:30 at the Ad Center. Next board meeting will be June 19th, 7 p.m. at Oak Forest High School. May I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Yeah.